There have been many people who have been unofficially crowned as the king of horror. I, of course, have never been one of those privileged. I try to not let it get to me.
So jealous!
Among those, we have John Carpenter, George A. Romero, Clive Barker, and a more recent mention, James Wan, to name a few. Now, these gentlemen may be beloved and praised for several of their contributions to horror as a whole, but damn near no one bats 1,000. And that couldn't be more true for one of the most famous horror authors, Stephen King.
Blasphemy!
Relax, bookworms. I'm just talking about the movies and shows based off of his work. Not saying anything about the books that he has written. I, of course, am not bringing up the books for any particular reason.
I can't read.
I brought this up before when I reviewed the most recent Children of the Corn remake. When it comes to Stephen King film adaptations, they can be very hit and miss. So I bet you are all wondering if The Monkey is a hit or a miss. I'll let you all know without spoilers, but first, spook me, monkey.
It's basically the devil.
Everybody dies. And that's life.
So here's my normal routine with new releases. I'm cool with seeing a trailer once, preferably a teaser trailer, and then I avoid the rest like the plague. Sometimes this is to my benefit, like in Companion, I had no idea that it was about robot sex partners.
Fuck yeah.
And that was a really fun surprise while I watched the movie. But sometimes this is to my detriment because I go in thinking a movie is going to be very serious, plan on it being serious, and when it turns out to be a comedy, it takes me a while to shift my mood and get ready for some laughs, like in Companion.
Blasphemy!
In Companion's mediocre defense, I guess I'm still in the minority here because that movie just didn't make me laugh, and that's a problem because it's a dark comedy. The same thing almost happened with The Monkey. I saw the first trailer, thought it was going to be a very dark and serious movie, and then I kept avoiding the other trailers and reviews like the plague. But I did read that some people thought that the movie had an identity problem, and I thought to myself,
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
So without looking too into it, I found out that The Monkey is a dark comedy, which is not a bad thing. I already dropped my review for Hard Eyes, and that was a dark comedy that I had a blast watching. Seems like a more than average amount of dark comedies are gracing us so early into the new year. So how is The Monkey? It's pretty damn good.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah!
But I got some shit to say about it still.
Careful.
In most dark comedies, like Hard Eyes, Werewolves Within, Deadstream, and whatnot, there seems to be more focus on comedy and less on the dark. Which is a pretty proven formula. If you want your dark comedy to work, write a comedy, and then add the death, blood, and monsters.
Just saying that gave me a semi.
So how funny is The Monkey? It's pretty funny. Is it to the level of Hard Eyes funny? Sadly, no.
Disappointed!
It's pretty easy to kind of pinpoint why exactly it isn't very funny. The movie has plenty of jokes and lines, sure, but all of the humor is in the awkward realizations and situations around death and blood. And there is a ton of death and blood. It is hard for a movie to be laugh out loud funny if there is mostly one style of humor or joke, and the tone does clash with what's going on, cause, you know, people are being grinded into jello. To be clear, I was laughing at the death.
What the fuck? Chief!
But it is pretty much the same joke over and over again. Someone dies in a weird, random, sometimes Final Destination style, usually around someone else, and then they just sit there covered in blood and just shrug it off like it's another lazy Tuesday. Moving on, everyone turns out solid performances. The story starts off with some kid actors, and I think they do great, though the picked on younger brother hit a little too close to home from time to time.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
And then the rest of the movie, when they are adults, everyone does a great job. I also want to give an extra shout out to the main actor, Theo James, mostly because he was in the last 2 Underworld movies, and I got a soft spot for that franchise, and I'm glad the man is still getting work despite being a part of that and the Divergent series, which both never actually finished off their stories.
Yeah!
case any of the 7 of you have heard of She-Hulk, yes, Tatiana Maslany is in this flick. Don't worry, she doesn't twerk with Megan Thee Stallion, so maybe she is moving in the right direction with her career.
Just a fool's hope.
The violence is over-the-top gory. There's shock value, creativity, and of course humor in every kill. And this movie has a high kill count, just so you know. I hate rambling, so that's gonna do it for me. I suggest you see it in theaters. It's a banger, but is it the bangerest of bangers that's currently playing? That honor goes to Hard Eyes. Please see these movies in theaters. I think that they earned your ticket dollars, and we gotta show support to more horror movies. I was hearing some guy talk about how unoriginal Hollywood is with all the sequels, remakes, reboots, and IPs and all that other bullshit. And I wish I could say that that's not true for horror, but it sadly is. The highest grossing horror movies of the year that they came out were like Insidious: The Red Door, which was a fucking cash grab shit show, and Scream 6, which is the same story as Scream 2, only with more brutal kills and a story that didn't have the balls to kill off anyone that mattered. The point is, there are lots of standalone flicks that earn your pennies. Have fun watching them, and stay spooky.